think I'm on mute. Hey y'all, it's Lucy for Live with Lucy. And today we're going to make the Haunted Schoolhouse. I didn't get as far along in the prep as I wanted to, but anyway, that's what we're going to be making. Remember, wait, let me look. Make sure you can hear me. Usually you tell me. I see some hearts. Okay, and we finish. I'm going to talk for a minute while I'm still doing a little bit of stuff. I'm sorry. Every time I come online, come on live, my nose starts itching. I guess it's a nervous thing, like, you know, dogs yawn. My nose itches. So anyway, we finished the Halloween contest, and I listed the award winners. I didn't put the photos up. I'll get the photos up later. And I've got some special awards. For one thing, a number of people did absolutely incredible villages. And in one photo, you really cannot appreciate the details. I'm thinking of Donna's, I can't remember who did Bodie Ghost Town, and then Kay Smith, I believe Kay Smith is one. She did a great village, and it's just, they're really fun to see, but you can't appreciate all the work that went into them from one photo. So I've got a village award, or a few village awards, just kind of little bonus awards, people I think deserve something extra. And there were some people who used some colors that were so bright and vibrant. I wanted to kind of call them out, and I think those are the main things. Now, what I wanted to ask y'all about is for the next contest, which is the Christmas contest, I was just wondering, do you want to what do you think about doing a village contest instead of just individual houses? So I want to hear y'all's opinion about having a Christmas village contest. Or, you know, we can do it the regular way and just add a village category if you like. But I just wanted to ask y'all what your opinion was. Jackie likes the village award. I would definitely do a village award, but I was just wondering if we should make the whole contest, because so many people have lots of displays, lots of Christmas houses, so they could have a great display. And the other thing about, oh, I forgot, I didn't put my disguise glasses on. It's kind of like putting on a funny nose, just a little disguise. But also I can see just a tiny bit better when they're on. But if we had a village award, I think we'd have to do like probably allow them to do at least 3 photos. I just don't think you can get an idea of how good they are with just one photo. So Delvine's thinking village category. I'm reading the things. Added category, because not everybody can do a village. Yeah, I thought about that. Okay, we'll do a village category, and we'll allow them to have like 3 photos, so it'll so they can show them off better, you know. And Peggy Sue's an even person. Okay, I'm kind of an odd person. I like in design and stuff, I try to do 3s, but it doesn't always work that way. But yeah, we'll you know, we can kind of just play that by ear. Okay, so Tracy said it would eliminate a lot of people if we did just did villages. And, you know, I really want more participation, and especially kids. If you know a school teacher or somebody who can encourage people, you know, I mean, she could encourage some kids in her class. We've had whole classes before where they entered, and I always call them out, and I try to give them some little thing. I don't know if it was a class. I don't know that I could give each individual child something, but I could make a donation to their class, like for art supplies or something. Okay, all right, Kay Smith's already working on thinking about her Christmas village. Yeah, so think about into, how you want to do a photo, an overall photo, and then you could just highlight your favorite houses within it, or like a pathway, or maybe you've got like, I don't know, somebody on a sled or on a sleigh, sleigh riders or carolers or something like that. Highlight what you think really makes it special with, I don't know, 3 to 4 photos. So you can think about that. Let me see, what else? I think that's the main thing, and then I'm going to start making, and like I said, I've got way behind. So I meant to have the siding on, but this is where I am with the siding. It's still in pieces, but I'll show you, the whole process. Not the entire process. I'm not going to bore you, or at least try not to bore you. And the same thing with the shingles. And we've done shingles before, but, sometimes they're new people who haven't seen stuff, and they're like, oh, that's a cool way to do it. I like that. Okay, so the Haunted Schoolhouse is this same pattern. There are 2 towers you can choose. This one I call the bell tower, and let me find the one we're going to be working on. And this one is the clock tower. And my inspiration for this Haunted Schoolhouse, wait, let me see if I can pull up. I'm not boring, probably because I'm like so confused. And anyway, don't distract me. I just got diagnosed by one of my friends as having ADHD yesterday, so try not to distract me. Okay, let me see if I can find the photo. Oh, it should be here. I just want to show you and kind of explain. Okay, I'm pulling this up. Now I'm going to show you my computer screen. And this is, behind it is the 13-hour clock, printable. And I'm not sure, I don't think that's in the file, so I'm going to add that to the file. And I've got a fence file as well. But anyway, this is the inspiration for the 13-hour clock. And it's kind of like, you see photos of old schoolhouses, usually old schoolhouses that they tear down. And I just think they look so cool. This could also be a city hall. If I was going to do a city hall, I would probably do a stone surface on it. But, and it could easily be turned into a church. I don't generally do haunted churches, but you see the inspiration was like a really old-fashioned schoolhouse, usually the kind that gets torn down. Let me switch back to me, if I can find me. Yeah, I found me. And so I just wanted to explain that's why it was called the Haunted Schoolhouse. And wait, I moved y'all away. Okay, I see Brenda there. And let's see. So I told you that one. And I was going to say, I think I need, maybe Jackie has one of this. Wait, let me move this. A brick overlay, like if you wanted to make it a city hall, just do a brick overlay like we did on the Ravenscrest bookstore. I don't know if I have a file for that, but I think Jackie might. I know she's got stencils, but you could, instead of cutting it out as a stencil, you could actually just cut it out as an overlay in cardstock and put it on top of your project. You would have to cut out the windows, because if you cut it out as one sheet of an overlay, the windows aren't going to be cut out, but they're easy to do by hand. And we're going to do something simple like that when we make the schoolhouse. So I'll just show you. I'm like I said, I didn't really get it far enough to complete it, but I've got enough that I can show you how to construct it. Okay. Hey, I see Donna's here, and Donna didn't hear about the village, because I think Donna's the one who did the Deadwood Ghost Village. And so we're thinking for Christmas doing a village category with more photos so you can show off your work better. I think it was Donna who did that. Okay, now let me go. I'm going to switch to the overhead. You can see all the stuff on my thing.
Let me ask about the PDF of the clock that you used in the photos.
What? I don't know where it is. I don't remember where I found it. I don't know if that 13-hour clock PDF is in a book or if it's with another house. So we're just going to have to find that. Okay, so these are the pieces. Wait. Let me move this back so I won't get out of screen very often. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. This is the main body, and if you've done any of my houses before, like the one we did last week, the Storybook Cottage, if I'm making bigger houses, I make what I call inset houses, where this is the front piece, this is the back piece, and it goes within the front piece, and that makes the structure. So those are the two main pieces. This is the front tower, and this is the one with the clock option. And like I said, I think my clocks are over here. And we will find that, or actually I'll add it to the file. And this one doesn't fit perfectly, but let me see. Oh, I think my windows are drying in the oven. Can you go to the oven and see if you can find my windows? And nope, I found my windows. Never mind. Here they are. So with the frame, this one works. So don't worry, I will get you a 13-hour clock printable. I think I did one in the Spooktacular, but I don't think I have a free file, but I'll get this for you. So don't worry about it. I'll do it. Tiffany said to be sure to do the thumbs up. That's very nice of y'all. Y'all take care of me because I always forget these things. I just want to make stuff. I was taking a class on promoting your business, and the person was so analytical and was so different from me. I'm like, that's not even fun. You know, it has to be fun to, you know, sustain yourself. Even if it's a business, you know, like business, you have to make it fun. Okay, so those are the three main pieces. This is my siding. This is really good crackle siding. I made it last year, but see how little the crackles are? It's one of my favorites. I am now adding base pieces at y'all's suggestion to try to help keep it square. Oh, and I'm making this one for the first time out of my watercolor paper. So I just wanted to see how that would work. I got a chimney. I painted it kind of gross colors, so it looked like kind of Venus blood. Not like bright red like blood, but old blood. So I think that makes a creepy chimney. Let me grab some of these pieces. Here's the steeple. And this is, and I'll show you a trick for adding shingles to the steeple. So this part is going to be what I call the under steeple. And then we're going to cut another one apart and do the shingles on top where they're easy to cut. These are the side pieces of the over roof. So these go here when we're ready to glue the roof on. And then this is the main over roof. This is the front part of the over roof and the back part. So it'll glue on like this with the tower in front. And the same way, there's an easy way to do shingles. So I'll show you that. And I probably showed y'all before. The only fence pattern I have in it is what I call this wall. I've used this wall before. It's a nice pattern, but I think for a schoolhouse, I think you need a picket fence. So that's another thing I'm going to add to the pattern. I'm actually not going to add it to the pattern. I'll do it as like extra. Let me find it. So I made a little kind of rickety picket fence. Rickety picket fence. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. So first, I think what I'm going to start out with is just showing you sort of a kind of a tricky way to do crackle siding where you don't have to, it's not so fiddly. So I'm just going to do one little side. And sometimes I glue one strip at a time. Sometimes I'll put the glue down. I'm using my stronger glue just because it can be hard to glue little pieces, little strips down. And smear it just a little bit so stuff will adhere. And wet paper towel for the mess. In terms of mess level, if you looked at my desk, this one's probably an 8. But it's only because I have a lot of components to it, not because I'm being that messy with it. But I've already got my crackle paint done. I've already painted all the pieces. So I'm kind of breaking it up. But I think this one's probably a 7 or 8. We talked about mess level. I was in an event yesterday, or got interviewed kind of for an event yesterday, and they were very interested in the mess level. It's my friends Jen Swift and Amy Romeu, and Amy was like, I think I'm a 1. I personally don't believe that any craft is a 1. But I do think she's probably a 2. Okay, Nan asked, where am I going to put these patterns? I'm going to put them in number 74. And that's the design number. I'm going to put them there as like Halloween extras or something for the front tower clock house. Maybe I'll add some other extras for other seasons, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a regular picket fence, so not so, you see this one's really kind of irregular. Maybe I can do just a nice picket fence. But remember, Jackie on A Cottage in the Forest has a really nice file for making fences. I don't think she has specific Halloween fences in that file. So Jackie, A Cottage in the Forest, and I guess just search her site for fences, and she's got a free fence file. One of my friends asked me, it's like, isn't she a competitor? I'm like, no, we work together. We are together. We help each other. That's the way most of my crafting buddies are. We don't think of ourselves as competitors. We're like, we're just helpers. Yeah, so for me, for any of my crafts, I think the easiest I could ever do is a 3 in terms of mess level. And when you've got this many components, like I said, it's a 7 or an 8. And also, when I was talking to my friends, Jen and Amy, we talked about materials. And I know a lot of people, a lot of Cricut crafters really stick with cardstock. And, I like to paint. But there was people, like, I don't want paint on my hands. I don't like the idea of paint on my hands. And, that's one of the nice things about Cricut is how beautifully it cuts stuff out for you. So you do not have to worry about painting things. And so I certainly understand, but this is fun for me. It may not be fun for everybody. But it is fun for me. And I don't mind getting messy. It's sort of kind of an expression of myself. I'm kind of messy in person. So I just don't mind. I think I'm gonna try to lighten it up just a little bit. Y'all know I over glue. If it's too wet, it takes a while to dry. And then I'm going to show you how I do the windows. So I'm going to let this dry. Maybe we'll work on a some shingles while this is drying. And then I'll come back and cut the windows out. And then I'll show you basically the same technique for the shingles. And it's much easier than trying to shingle and cut cut little tiny pieces to fit around the window. And then if there is and I think I've got a house here, yes. This is the abandoned Italianate mansion. This is called a corner board, and it covers up the raw edges. So it makes it much neater. Now it's a Halloween house, so we don't have to be neat, but if you don't like raggedy edges showing up, then you just add a corner board. Whoops. Okay. Little Patty says getting messy is a rite of passage for crafting. Okay, so we'll let that dry. Let's go ahead and cut. Oh, I'm gonna show you the steeple. I hope I have both pieces here. There we go. Here's the other piece. Okay, so I cut out two. One is going to kind of be the under steeple, and one is going to be the template for the shingles. And it's not really the template, it's like an extra layer. I'm just going to cut it by hand, but if you're cutting it on a machine, instead of doing score lines, just let it cut them. And then you'll have pieces that are fit exactly on top. You see? And so we can glue the shingles to these easily, trim the edges, and then glue them to our steeple. Okay, so shingles. The shingles in the pattern, because the roof pieces are all angled, I just did long strips for shingles, just long strips, and you do have to cut them, but you don't have to cut them precisely. So cut one, line it up, cut another. And I don't know how many strips it requires. So I think I cut out 11, but it may need more than that. It's just hard to know. And then they can get smaller at the top. Okay, let's see if that's enough. Apply our glue. Yeah, you can see the Cricket Adventure live from yesterday. It's on their Cricket Adventure YouTube channel. We had a lot of fun. One problem, though, I was wearing a mock turtleneck, and at my age, if you wear a mock turtleneck, sometimes your neck starts to look like a turtleneck, and I was staring at myself trying to figure out how to make my neck not look so flabby. You know, when I wasn't talking, I was like, I was like trying to massage my neck so I wouldn't look so bad. So if you notice that, it was kind of embarrassing in retrospect. Now with shingles, because they overlap, unlike the siding, the shingles overlap. A lot of times I'll add a little bead. Actually, I'm just going to use my lighter glue because it's not a large area. Just add a little bead of, you can see I haven't opened this glue in a while. It's got like a little stain from the rusty pen. And I do like, you don't have to, it takes just a minute more, but I like to alternate the shingles. So I try to move them so that the, they're staggered. Just more texture. It was kind of a turkey neck. Yeah, so I wore a different shirt today. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. Not until I get more. I have to start exercising again. I kind of miss that. And see, it's so much nicer not have to worry about trimming each edge. If you glue it on while the steeple is already constructed, you end up, you know, you have to trim each piece. And that's how I used to do it. But then I figured out kind of this over roof situation, and it's much easier. Yeah, go back and watch that video and you'll see how I was like all upset. I was like, oh no, my neck looks terrible. I was trying to think of other things about the Halloween contest. December, I always start the December one on December 1st. So you can make it ahead of time. The rule is that you can't do it during, you know, it needs to be this calendar year. And I don't think that's a problem for all of you crafters. And if you have an older one that you're really proud of, and you can always put it in our Joy of Creation category, which is just a way of sharing without having to, you know, maybe you don't enjoy the competitive aspect, and which really is not my goal, but you know, I just thought I did it as a way to encourage people. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have to cut more. So it actually took a fair amount. So I think you're probably going to have to cut out a page. I used watercolor paper, which comes as 9, or the kind I use is 9 by 12. That should be plenty for this row. And one thing nice about the watercolor paper as opposed to using cardboard is you don't have to prime it because it's designed to take paint. Now, of course, it's designed to take watercolor paint, but it really doesn't care. The paper does not care. It does well with acrylic paints too. And I like that the paints are kind of variable. They, you know, I use Tim Holtz paints. But see, it's got a lot of variation in the color. And if you look at, let's say, a slate roof, for example, there's a ton of color in it. So that's what I like. Let's see. Okay. Oops. Not enough glue. Which I rarely ever say, not enough glue. Part of it is, see, I get all these sticky bits on my fingers, and when I lift my finger up, it sticks more to my finger than to the project I'm working on. Okay, now let's see. I have to cough. Excuse me. I got a new microphone that I think is much better. Okay, so see, now all you do is cut it here, and you haven't had to fiddle with all those little tiny bits. I'm going to let it dry because if you cut before it's dry, they shift. So we're going to do something similar to the back of the house pattern. So like I said, rather than cutting out little tiny pieces to fit here, we can glue it on, and then actually let me see if I have a pencil. draw around it. Sometimes if you draw it, it makes an indentation so that it's easier to cut. Pencil would have been better. I could have used my scoring stylus. Okay, now I'm using my craft knife. If you are a good crafter, you change your blade for every project. If you are me, you change your blade when you're like, whew, this thing isn't cutting. Also, you know, my machine does most of the cutting for me, so I don't need this. I'm trying not to poke through to my fingers. Really, once you get it going, you can actually snip with scissors, which is easier. Snip, snip. And even though that process is a little fiddly, it's still easier than fiddling with all of those pieces. And I think the window will cover up my edges. We can go ahead and add this window. No, because we got to cut this out, and I want it to be flat. Actually, I'm gonna score it. Let's see if scoring works. And again, if the glue is really, really dry, it's much easier. And when I'm demonstrating, I don't usually let the glue dry completely. The type of house this is called a hipped roof house, kind of like a pyramid shape. I've just barely got my finger behind the window, but not where I'm cutting. I'm gonna snip with my scissors. Let me get my favorite scissors. Look how beat up these are. I love these little scissors. Because they get in there, they get into little crevices so easy, and it's such a satisfying little snip, snip. Okay, there we go. Windows. Now we can glue these windows down, and you do the same thing with the front, the other side, and the back. The back is not as challenging. All you have to do is cut out the circle. But if you're trying to fit little pieces to match a circle, it's pretty precise work. So and one thing I did add, I added this to the pattern last night, was Halloween windows. There was already a pattern, but I like these Halloween windows better, and I added a coffin door. So if you downloaded the pattern a while ago, it's better now. And I remember I added this piece. So I'll do some accessories for design number 74, including the fence. And what was the other thing I was going to do? The fence, and there were two things. Oh, 13-hour clock. And then we'll remember where the 13-hour clock is. Shoot. Not sticky enough. Yes, the clocks. Okay, Donna says she likes to snip as she puts down each piece. See, that's a very precision person, and that's actually how I did them at first. But I always like to try new methods so that, you know, I can tell you, oh, this works. Okay, now let's go back to our over roof. And I'm going to try to hold the shingles pretty firmly so they don't move as I cut. So I'm trying to move my thumb along as I cut. Otherwise they'll shift when the glue is a little bit wet. Isn't that a cool way to do shingles? All right, so let's see. Next, I think I'm going to show you a little bit about putting it together. There's kind of a, oh, Donna says the X-Acto knife. She doesn't have strength in your hand. Well, I think that's reasonable. You know, you just figure out what works. Okay, so there are these two tabs on the hipped roof. And I fold them both in and I glue them together. So I'm going to glue these two tabs together so they will look like this. And you can fold them to one side if you want, but if you fold them to this side, it interferes a little bit with that roof tab. So I push them more to this side. So we're going to, actually I'm not going to do it yet because I want to add all the siding. So what I'm going to do is we are going to do the painter's tape method. I'm just going to construct it, showing you the structure by doing painter's tape. Okay, so I'm going to tape it down that way. So I hope you can translate these instructions to glue. So we glue these two pieces together. These two roof tabs together, and I glue them to the front. To the front piece so it won't interfere with the roof on the back. Oh, actually, I usually glue it together before I do that. I just wanted to show you before I have a piece in the way. Okay? So let's do the inset back. And again, I'm using tape, not glue. So Donna's kind of telling us sort of secrets she does because she has some weakness in her hands and a trimmer, and yet you need to see her work. It's phenomenal. So even with those, hard to say, handy challenges, with those challenges, her work is beautiful. You know, it just kind of explains or demonstrates that we want to be creative. We want to express ourselves that way, even in the face of those kind of challenges. No, painter's tape. Okay, now you can see how this all goes together. And it's such a nice roof. It really makes a sturdy house. So I'm just doing the temporary painter's tape because I just didn't get as far as I want. I've been working on it for hours, but okay. And let's see, let's test the base piece. This is to help keep it square. And see, even with the watercolor, it bends out a little bit. So let's see if I made it. I try to make it small enough. I make it slightly smaller so that it'll slide in. There we go. And so see where it bows out? If this is glued down, it won't bow out there. And then the other major advantage is that when you glue your house to a base of some kind, you have a much larger gluing surface than just the edge. All right, now I'm going to show you as best I can the clock. Now let me cut out. Where's my clock? I'm going to use one of these spiderweb clocks, and I will size them for this house. Or that's not. I'll do different sizes, so you can use it for different size holes for any of your houses that need a 13-hour clock. I like this little spider one. I don't know that I cut it big enough. Yeah, I did. Same thing, taping, because I got all this stuff I have to do. I have to glue siding on. I'm taping it. Look at that. No, I'm not taping it down like that. Line it up. And remember, the window frame will cover up that edge for this size. Okay, so this is kind of an odd piece. It is, I think it's about 1 inch by 1 inch, and this is how you construct it. This keeps it 1 inch square. I'm temporarily taping. And then these pieces fold inward for gluing surface. That's what the function of these. And this part, I used to do it as just an angle here, and the roof was solid, but it was hard to get it to line up correctly. But when there's this insert, assuming, you don't have tape in the way, it's much easier to keep it straight, and to insert it. So it's much sturdier. And then let's see, where is our steeple? I'm going to tape our, this is our prototype. We'll act like this is just a prototype, even though it will eventually be a house. And let me see. I don't know. This one might be too long. Because it's Halloween, I wanted it a longer steeple, so I borrowed a steeple from another house. I really like it taller. I think it's a little scarier. So what do you think? This steeple is in the pattern, and I just added this one. So you have 2 steeples within the pattern. And I did the pattern as I stacked it, so all the pieces are there, but there's also individual pieces. So if you just want to cut out, maybe you mess something up and you just want to cut out steeples, you've got that option. Okay, and now look how easy it is to get this on. See? Okay, so that is the main structure. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is, do you think I need an insert for the tower itself? Because it is a little hard to keep square. So remember, I added this insert. So let me know if you think I need to add an insert for the tower. Okay, now this is what I do, and maybe you can paint better than me, but I like to use this. I love these white pens, these white gel pens. This is my Uniball Signo. I think it's so much easier to draw a line than it is to paint a white line. Let's see, that's the glue tab. And if the white is too bright, I think it'll look okay with the siding. I don't think it'll be too bright. We can always distress it, just doing like a light wash of black on top. Or I'll show you, let me do, this is my sample piece, this is the tab, but the white kind of smears. So if we wanted to smear it a little bit, I think we can do that. I guess it dried faster than I thought. Yeah, I messed up at the top. I did them too close together. It's an old house. And then I just kind of alternate my bricks. Okay. Kay likes the ideas of, even though the tower is, it's a small insert, but I do think it'll help. It may make it much easier to get it on as well, because it will maintain its squareness or rectangular shape easier. That's just one thing I really enjoy about doing these lives, is interacting with y'all and, getting your opinion about things. Eventually, I will get back on Facebook. I don't really want to dwell on it. I will get back on Facebook, and because I really missed that interaction as well. Yeah, I feel like, I kind of lost my family. My crafting family. Okay, I think I did pretty good with that. Okay. I think it looks, because I distressed it before, I think it looks really good. But sometimes you can smear it. There, I smeared some. Kind of look sort of sooty. Okay, glue. Oh dear, I didn't know how much time I was taking. Well, really, this is like the last piece, I think. I've showed you the structure. We've got the glue in the chimney. I showed you shingles. I showed you siding. Even though it's not new to you, I know you guys always, you've been with me for a while, so. But maybe you guys can find out, you have a technique and that makes your life easier, so you can show me. And there will be, I am going to add more awards. Like I said, for the village, some color awards. I don't have my list with me right here. And you can put this on the side if you want. You could do double chimneys if you want. Well, that would look good. Or one, I don't like them symmetrical, or at least, I don't want it in the middle. You got a tower there. But you could do, one on each side. That might look very good. I only cut out one. Okay, so let me switch cameras, and because I know you guys have a life outside of crafting. Okay, does anybody have any questions for me? I don't know. What I may do is just sometime when I have some time, I'll finish the construction. Maybe it's a separate live, just kind of like a pop-up live, and that you can see the finish. Okay, well, next week, I have no idea what I'm going to do next week. I haven't really thought about it. We're going to transition into Christmas and Thanksgiving. This house I've done before, but it's actually a very hard house. This is the one I call Giving Thanks. And I don't know if I've done it as a live. It's actually structurally very similar to the one we're doing, the front tower, but it's got an arched roof here, and an arched roof here, and an intersecting arched roof. So it's kind of hard, but I really like it. It's got a simple porch, a simple fence. So I don't know. We'll probably do that one maybe in November. Nan. Oh, the ship. No, I didn't talk about the ship. Melanie did a ship for it's a house contest. Now, there was some, it was like, is it a house? Well, people probably live on it. It's a structure. And it was so good that the judges all picked it. And I'm not going to debate about that. I thought it was so good. And she also had a pretty high-ranking other project. So anyway, so she got second place. It was so good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still in Facebook jail. But I actually paid to get Meta verified on Instagram, which gives me access to a person, not just bots. So I think I can get my account back. I'm kind of busy with the contest and stuff, so I haven't spent any time like figuring out how to reach that person. But I will do that, and I promise I will get back to y'all. But we have no idea. I didn't get an email. I have no idea. My account was just disabled. I have 30 days. It was on the 18th, so, you know, I've got, 20 days to try to get it back. Yeah, I know. I really missed y'all. It's so much. It was a very easy way for me to connect with people. And there are other places where you connect. This is one, but you can't show me what you're doing here. And that's what I really miss, So, yeah, Facebook mess level 10, yes. Okay, so like I said, I may go live, like a pop-up live, and just kind of finish this. I'll do all the siding, I'll have the shingles on the roof, and I'll just officially construct it, not just, you know, painter's tape. Okay, and if you ever have any questions, you know, you can always email me, Lucy@paperglitterglue.com. Or you can leave a comment. I respond to almost every comment. Now, during the voting, I didn't actually respond to every comment. But you can comment on any of the YouTube videos. So I do check those regularly. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody was asking if I was hacked. I'm not sure if I was hacked or not. I really have no idea. None of my friends got friend requests from me. So I don't think I was hacked. So I don't know. I didn't say any bad words. I didn't post anything funky, I don't think. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I do hope we'll figure it out. Okay. Well, I always enjoy seeing you. And I will finish this up. We'll find something fun to make next week. And I will talk to y'all later. Okay. Bye, y'all.